Lou Whitaker is a Detroit Tigers legend. He was a part of the most revered double-play tandem in all of baseball. He was also a key piece in bringing a World Series ring to Detroit in 1984. His infield partner Alan Trammell is in the Hall of Fame, but somehow Lou is not. So let's break down why Lou Whitaker should be in the Hall of Fame. I can sit here and talk about how good Lou Whitaker was and how he was a 5-time All-Star, won 3 Gold Gloves, and 4 Silver Sluggers, along with a Rookie of the Year award and a World Series ring. But the best way to put into perspective how good Lou Whitaker was is to show you his numbers compared to guys who are in the Hall of Fame. Lou Whitaker has a higher WAR than Derek Jeter, Reggie Jackson, Frank Thomas, Tony Gwynn, and his own teammate, Alan Trammell. I know WAR isn't the end-all be-all statistic that some people treat it as, and some of you are probably really not happy with me using WAR as a statistic for why someone should be in the Hall of Fame. So to appease that group of people, let's talk about stats that everyone does use: hits, RBIs, and batting average. Lou has more hits than Jim Thome despite having less plate appearances. Lou also has more RBIs than Ryan Sandberg and has a better lifetime batting average than Cal Ripken Jr. I'm not saying that Lou Whitaker is better than those guys, but it just puts into perspective the realm that Lou is in. Lou Whitaker also ranks 4th all-time in MLB history for games played at second base and is 4th all-time in double plays turned at second base, which just kind of puts into perspective how great he was defensively at that position. Lou Whitaker and Alan Trammell are also the longest-running double play combination in Major League Baseball history. Lou Whitaker was inducted into the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame in 2000 and has recently had his jersey number retired by the Detroit Tigers. Alan Trammell has said many times that he was only as good as he was because of Lou Whitaker. I know Lou never had super great power numbers, but his defense at second base was one of the best in Major League Baseball at the time. He arguably put up all-star level numbers in 1982, 88, 91, 92, and 93, but was unfortunately snubbed those seasons. Just look at where he ranks in double plays turned, total zone runs, range factor, and fielding percentage. He has multiple seasons leading the league in all of those categories. I understand the argument against Lou, don't get me wrong. He's kind of in that weird area where he is too good to not have a case for the Hall of Fame, but doesn't exactly have the numbers to be an easy selection. However, his longevity should be something that is considered. Like I mentioned earlier, he is 4th all-time in games played at second base. He played 19 seasons in the majors. Lou ranks 3rd all-time in Detroit Tigers franchise history in games played, behind just Ty Cobb and Al Kaline. Lou played over 100 games 16 times in his career. His on-base percentage never dipped below .330 throughout his whole career. His highest on-base percentage came in his age 36 season at .412. Sure, Lou wasn't a big power bat. He was also only selected to an All-Star team 5 times. He never won an MVP, and near the end of his career, he played on some pretty not-so-good Tigers teams. But often we talk about how guys who are inducted into the Hall of Fame should be people that you can't tell the story of Major League Baseball without. And in my opinion, and I think the opinion of many others, you can't tell the story of the Detroit Tigers franchise without him, and subsequently, you can't tell the story of Major League Baseball without him. That 1984 Tigers team is widely considered one of the best ever in Major League Baseball, and he was a key piece in that team. So, you can't tell the story of Major League Baseball without talking about Lou Whitaker for at least a brief moment. And also, if you put Alan Trammell into the Hall of Fame, you then also need to put Lou in. They're a package. They worked better together. So, they should be in the Hall of Fame together. Lou Whitaker was one of the best middle infielders in baseball for over a decade. His accolades, consistency, loyalty, and longevity are all things that make Lou Whitaker a Hall of Famer. Is he on the fringes of the Hall of Fame? Yes. I'm not going to act like he was some first ballot selection that was a no-brainer. But I am saying at the very least, he should be in the Hall of Fame. Now, this video is probably not going to change anybody's minds or anything, and the Major League Baseball, the Writers Association that does all the voting and stuff, they're pretty set in their ways. If you use a stat like WAR to try and justify why someone should be in the Hall of Fame, it's not going to go over too well with that group of people. But I still feel like, you know, his WAR numbers really is the best way to kind of grasp how good he was, because, again, he didn't put up the best power numbers, but he had a consistent bat, he got on base, and he was so good defensively. Like, no stat can really do justice to how good Lou Whitaker was at second base. His skill, his talent, his consistency at that position defensively, I mean, I can't talk about it enough. It's really something that is really underrated about his game, and is really underrated about that 1984 World Series team that the Tigers had. And I mean, when you've got basically everyone on that team saying that they couldn't have done what they done without him, and when you've got so many people saying he should be in the Hall of Fame, I feel like at a certain point, you just kind of got to admit that the guy's got a case. And he should be in. Doesn't mean he's going to get in, sadly. But I'm still going to support that Lou Whitaker should be in the Hall of Fame. And I doubt a day is ever going to come where I don't. You would have to bring up some really good evidence against the guy. And at that point, you've got to be a dedicated Lou Whitaker hater to dig that deep to find enough information to prove why he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, because I feel like the case for him is better than the case against him. But that's just me. So, it's my opinion. I'm sure a lot of you out there have differing opinions. I can't wait to hear them in the comments. I'm Limitless Pulls. I'll see you guys next time.
Nigga, put it in the blender. Hell yeah, I'm Wingstop. Jump on the chicken tender. It's like the beef with energy and water like timber. It's starting looking like dinner. It's like I got the bad boy or girl.